Hey everyone, tonight I'm going to make what I consider to be the perfect meal. And I call it the perfect meal because it's inexpensive, super easy to make, it's classy, and both items on the menu, the rice and the salmon, take almost the exact same amount of time to cook. And so you don't have to juggle wildly different cooking times. So tonight I'm going to make what's called blackened salmon. It's a little bit spicy, a little bit kind of zesty, and it really could not be easier to make. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, we're going to do a couple of things to get started. First, we're going to start the heat under our water for the rice. This particular rice calls for 1 cup of rice to 1 3/4 cup water. So we're going to start that to boil, and we're going to start our oven to preheat to 375. The water is boiling. We're going to go ahead and add the rice, give it a little mix up. And what I like to do is add about a tablespoon of butter right on top of that, cover it up, and turn it down to low to simmer. And we're going to let that simmer for 20 minutes. Set the timer. Step 1 done. At the same time, we're going to start the heat under our pan for the salmon. So the rice takes roughly 4 minutes longer than the salmon to make. So while this is coming up to heat, we'll go ahead and prepare the salmon with the spices. The beauty of this meal is that we don't need more than 4 minutes to prepare the salmon while the pan gets hot, because really all you're going to do is get your favorite blackening seasoning. This is Tony Chacheres, I don't know. And you're just going to sprinkle that all over the salmon. And you're going to do that on the flesh side, not the skin side. You always want to make sure that you get the skin on salmon. After that, just a drizzle of olive oil. Wait for that pan to get hot, and then we're going to put it in the pan. That's it. Okay, the pan is good and hot. We've got exactly 16 minutes left on the rice, which is exactly how long the salmon takes to cook. So you're just going to take that salmon, and you're going to put it flesh side down on the pan, and don't touch it. You're going to leave that be for 4 minutes. All right, we're approaching 4 minutes. What I like to do is take that plate that you have the salmon on and just drizzle some of that excess oil over the skin side of the fish, just to make sure that you don't have to pry it off that pan to keep it from sticking. Go ahead and give it a flip. And look how beautiful that is. We're going to let that cook on the skin side for another 4 minutes, and then just transfer it to the preheated 375-degree oven. And you're almost there. It's been cooking on the skin side for 4 minutes. That means we've got 8 minutes on the clock for the rice, and that's exactly how long this stays in the oven for. In the oven, 8 minutes, and that's it. All right, when that timer goes off, we're going to take the rice off the heat and the salmon out of the oven. Give the rice a quick fluff and let that rest, and let the salmon rest for just a few minutes. And at the exact same moment, they're both going to be done to perfection. 2, 1. There it is. Let's have a look. And how pretty is that? So we're going to go ahead and give this rice a quick fluff up. Make sure nothing's sticking, and that is absolutely perfect. So beautiful. It's exactly what you want it to look like. No residual water in there, nothing sticking together, nothing stuck to the bottom. I'm going to put the lid back on and let that rest for just a couple minutes, as well as the salmon, and it's time to plate it up. My goal for the food that I cook at home is for it to look and taste and feel as good, if not better, than something you get in a restaurant. And there's one trick that I've always wondered about, why your spaghetti or why your meal in general always stayed warm for the entire length of your meal at a restaurant. And what I never realized is that they would warm the plates. And that's something that I started doing recently. And this oven comes with a bread warmer on the bottom, but I suppose you could just put your plate in the oven on real low heat, just maybe 10 minutes before the meal is ready. And that warms up that plate, and that rice and that salmon's gonna stay good and toasty for the entire length of time that you're eating. So let's go ahead and get our plate out. Ooh, that's just right. Now we're gonna go ahead and plate this up and see what it looks like. Okay, so as we all know, food that looks good tastes better, and that's just a scientific fact. So I like to sort of get that rice in that spoon into a nice solid shape and put it on the plate really nice, not just slop it on there. And slide that salmon on there. And just like that. So pretty. It's Mother's Day, and that means I have an empty house. My kid is with his mom, girlfriend is who knows where, but that's no reason for me to sit here and eat a peanut butter and jelly or a bologna sandwich or something like that. Mental health goes hand in hand with physical health, and I think it's important to feed ourselves well, even if nobody's watching. So considering how easy this is, how inexpensive it is, this is all under $10 and easily enough food for 2 people. Any night is a good night to eat well. So I hope that you make this recipe. It couldn't be easier. And cheers. Ridiculous. Yum. See you next time. Hey everyone, so I'm sitting here eating and I just remembered that there's a couple things I wanted to remind you of that I forgot to say during the video. There's generally 2 choices of salmon you can get in any grocery store, and that's wild caught and farm raised. Tonight I did farm raised, even though generally I do wild caught. But the big difference, especially if you're making this for a date night, especially if it's date 1 through 10, just know that the wild caught salmon generally has lots and lots of itsy bitsy little fish bones in it that you're gonna be picking out of your teeth the entire time. Not real sexy. Unless the date requires that you get some organic wild caught salmon, I recommend the farm raised salmon because I don't know what they do to these frankenfish, but there's no bones in there. And it's just a much lovelier experience eating the salmon because you're not picking little bones out of your teeth. Secondly, I'm not sure if I mentioned it earlier, but when you're cooking the salmon, you're going to have it on medium heat. And medium heat ranges from stove to stove. The other thing too, this was I would call a medium thickness, just under a pound salmon. Sometimes you buy a big piece of salmon and one end is real fat and one end is real thin. You want to make sure that whatever you do, you cook it evenly. So you might require a little bit more time if it's a bigger piece, a little bit less time if it's a thinner piece. So that's up to you to judge on that. Anyways, enjoy. I'll see you next time.